Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell-Blank. And Tyler, it is our final episode of our Sting series here with our special guest, Rob Wilkins. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. We're joined by Rob. This is it. I can't believe it. Day 4, part 4 of Sting. We're talking legacy, guys. This is it. Revolution, March 3rd, AEW Revolution, that is, March 3rd, Greensboro, North Carolina. Final Sting match. Sting and Darby defending the AEW Tag Team Championships against the Young Bucks, the EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. So, guys, it's, I think, fitting for us to now move into this conversation about how we're going to remember the icon himself. For me, Sting is definitely on my Mount Rushmore. Again, from childhood and loving his character, especially Crow Sting during that time. Fast forward now to an adulthood and being able to watch him. Obviously, I shared on our last episode that Brad and I got to see him live for AEW Dynamite in Phoenix a few weeks ago. I'm thinking definitely about the what if we could have gotten Sting versus Undertaker, what that would have been like, what that would have felt like. I've shared with both of you that him being the face of a challenger brand in WCW and never, quote unquote, selling out and going to WWF or WWE, at least while he was in WCW, really sticks with me. I think there's something to be said for loyalty in that regard. Sting just had such an aura about him, and he was a character. For me, it wasn't just about the in-ring work, even though he's great at that. It was about the character that is Sting, the presence that he brings to any arena, wherever he travels. He's one of my favorites to ever do it. Rob, how are you feeling? And how will you remember Sting?
Man, well, I don't know if sadness is the right word. I think it's just more like appreciative. Like I'm more thankful that we got to get this final run from him, because what was it, 2015, 16, where we thought it was over with, so the fact that we did get him back for a few years is pretty cool. And it was a good run for him. The fact that he got to go undefeated, I think he's had over 20 matches in AEW. So some of those were cinematic, but that's fine. They were entertaining, and they were just good, And he's always been Sting, Like that's the thing. Like I don't know, I don't know, if we'll still see him around. I'm wondering sometimes if he'll appear. I hope we do see him, because he's still great on the mic. But maybe he's done. I don't know. But it's one of those things where in this wrestling business that we see, it's easy for us to we're lucky that we get to see this. We appreciate what we get, because you never know when it's going to go away, and the fact that we got this is good, because the fact that I said this in one of the first or second episode that we did, I was a Bret Hart guy, and his career got cut short because of somebody I don't like, and the fact that on when he came back in those early, what was it, SummerSlam 2010ish 11, when he was doing the tag team match, he had to pretty much be laying low. But when he was doing the house shows, people this is the Bret Hart that you remember when there's no cameras. He was doing the Bret Hart stuff, and it's damn it, so I appreciate so much of what he's given us, and the fact that he's 64 years old and he's still doing this. He's still entertaining us when he could be doing anything else. It's what they say, the love of the game, he loves it. And we're all around, like I said earlier, we're all around the same age. And I'm just thankful for the man, that we get the legend, and I'm gonna miss him. But that's the great thing about technology is we can go back and watch a lot of that stuff that he's done because of like the network and other like services. So it's good like that we can still go back and watch them. So I'm very, very happy about that part.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it too. It's, you know, to your point, I think it would be really cool if he came back. Maybe he did commentary, because we've seen him do if Sting's not wearing makeup, he wears the little glasses, like the thin sunglasses over his eyes, but then no makeup, just the little soul patch. And then I could see him jumping on commentary for AEW events on occasion, and maybe playing an Arn role or doing a producer role backstage. But I don't know if he has any interest in doing any of that stuff. I would hope so, but he might just be like, yeah, I've been doing this for 40 years. I'm good. I think I'm just going to go to California or wherever I want to live and sit in a lawn chair for the time being and enjoy sunrises and sunsets without having to get on a plane. Cause I think like that part of that lifestyle has got to be an absolute grind. You know, I think about like, what if you get into health concerns and health scares in your later stages? Like, I love Jim Ross. I still think he's probably my favorite any kind of caller of all time, just because I grew up during the Attitude Era. But I love Shivani, and just JR not being able to get on planes because of the health scares. Like, you know, I don't know how Sting's body is feeling. I imagine fine if he's leaping off balconies. But you know, I don't really know. I don't know how he feels when he wakes up. For all I know, it might take 15 minutes to get out of bed, to do stretches, to do all that. I have absolutely no idea. So whatever's best for him will be fine. But, you know, going to miss seeing him on TV. I didn't think I'd ever see him again. So I'm just really appreciative for the last 3-4 years. And it's been everything that I've wanted to see. And it's such a great send off to, you know, even the merch is paying homage to him. And it's just like, this is Sting's last match. I think it has to be the main event, because we can't bill it as go see Sting's last match and have it happen first. It feels a little weird, but for Sting's last match to be the main event of a major pay-per-view in a company in the town that he's most associated with, probably for wrestling, or one of the two, is amazing. But legacy wise, I think that will always be the association in that part of the country is Sting with Atlanta. Ric Flair and Sting are so tied together, the way that I feel like Steamboat and Sting are tied together when you mention one or the other, or Steamboat and Flair. I think it's something that we will probably hear about forever when it gets mentioned, because the guy has been doing it for so long at an incredibly high level that how can he not leave a lasting legacy? You know, I think even showing if somebody's not doing the right thing or somebody isn't okay in the ring, that you got to call an audible and just do what you got to do. Unfortunately, I think of him pinning Jeff Hardy in TNA when the match was supposed to keep
Victory
going.
Road, right?
Yeah. And he just sort of held him down, and Hardy was trying to kick out, but he's like, nope, this match is over or you're going to get hurt. And to see him just put like people's well-being ahead of anything else is really cool as well. So gonna miss seeing him, but really glad I got to. Tyler, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you guys a question first. We were discussing this off air. What do you think is more likely? Does Sting go out on his back? Do the Young Bucks beat him in Darby, or does he retire from AEW undefeated? Rob, where are you leaning?
If you would have told me 2 weeks ago, I would have said that he goes out on his back. But as much as more and more, just based off the way Nick and Nicholas and Matthew are acting and the way that Tony Khan has treated Sting, I think Sting and Darby go over. I think Sting walks out undefeated. That's something that either nobody else can ever say in AEW, or nobody else can say they had a better winning percentage, I guess you could say,
Mhm.
so he's going to
Batting
go out on top.
1,000.
Yeah. So I can see that. And then, I mean, it could set up a tag team tournament, something, because when he relinquishes the belt, that gives the Young Bucks another chance. I mean,
Mm.
that's the thing too. I there's just so much, like, it's just one of those things where from a fantasy booking standpoint, I want Sting to win. I want him to go out that way. From the, like, how he is as a wrestler, that I don't know, because a lot of people in his age, like, from, like, where he grew up, like, he came through that, like, you go out on your back, you leave your boots
Right.
in the ring. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if that's what he's going to do. So I'm just I just don't know. It's one of those things where I'm excited to see, because I'm excited to see it, but I'm also not ready to see it because I'm not ready for him to go. But
Mhm.
that's me being selfish. So
100%.
Yeah,
Right.
I think I see him going out on top. I mentioned it in our pod. I think last week that I could see it being they relinquish the belts and then they have a tournament, which feels very AEW to do. And also, I think it'll help build back up the tag division in there because they have like 50 great tag teams. They haven't really done anything with any of them in so long because it's all been trios or 4-man or whatever. It's FTR and Daniel Garcia. I'm ready to get it back to, there was 2020 to 22 ish felt like a golden age of tag team wrestling, and they still have basically all of that talent, and I'm ready to see that again. And a tournament could be amazing. So I think it makes sense. It leaves a bunch of storylines open, and um, like what does Darby do next is a great question after Sting leaves. Where does that leave Darby? Who does he feud with? Because he's going to get beat down like crazy and ragdolled everywhere, and then they're going to go, well, see, you don't have anybody to help you out. Does somebody then join Darby? Is Darby face it alone? There's a lot of things that are left there that Sting can leave behind, but ultimately, I think he has to win. Well, he doesn't have to win. It's he has to win for me and for Rob, and then for everybody else, I don't really care. I want to see him win. I
Now
want to
that might
see
be a
this.
little selfish. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't care.
In a good way. In a good way.
I don't care at all.
We won.
Yes, it is selfish. I acknowledge this. I want to see him win because I think it would be great to see him win, put down the belt, take off his boots or something, put him down, and then I think the coolest way for it to end is lights go out, they come back up, Sting's not in the ring anymore. That's the end.
oof.
Um, I think it would be really cool. I mean, have him get his flowers for a second while he's taking the boots off, puts them up, acknowledges the crowd, and then lights off, he gone. It would be incredible. That would
Wow.
be incredible. That's
Yeah.
my fantasy booking right there for that.
That would be required viewing for sure. Listening to you, Brad, definitely listening to Rob, I'm already starting to feel melancholy. And I was already feeling those butterflies in Phoenix. Like in the moment, once Sting walked out and there were fans holding up Sting signs and cardboard cutouts and Sting getting on the ropes during his entrance and and doing the scream. I was already starting to feel it, but now hearing you guys, it's like, wow, this is really happening. And both of you have convinced me that this is way more likely than I thought. In my mind, for sure, the Bucks were going to win and become the villainous champs again. But especially if it's going to be main eventing Revolution, which obviously we don't know for certain yet. But if it is, I definitely think that increases the likelihood that Sting does retire. To Rob's point, from AEW undefeated. The final thing I want to mention here is what's so appealing to me about Sting is not just the childhood nostalgia, but it seems like he's one of those people where, I mean, I don't know the guy at all, but I would surmise that no one seems to have a bad thing to say about him. The three of us are living in this time where we're seeing a lot of our heroes from yesteryear. We're seeing their skeletons come to the limelight.
Mm.
And it's that saying, right? Never meet your hero. Shout out to former guest Jabari Davis. like, to me, Sting seems to be one of those people where everyone just loves him and you
Yeah.
can't say a bad word about him. So I think about how, not to make it too melancholy, but the type of person, the type of man that I want to be personally, professionally. And I want to be that guy where people just say, "Oh yeah, he treats you well, he does good work." And that's it. There's no drama, there's nothing nefarious. It's just like, "No, he's a good dude." And look at this body of work that he's leaving behind. He's leaving the business, he's leaving this career field better than when he entered it. To me,
Yeah.
that's super inspiring. And I just, I'm so grateful that I was able to witness this man's career from the 90s till 2024 when we get to watch his last match.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't agree with you more.
Brad.
You got me at melancholy, and now you got me feeling all sad about this. I was trying to look something up, but I keep looking over at the Fig, and I'm afraid my fear is that, number one, somebody might try to copy this in some way, and we've had versions of these things over the time, or homages. You could even argue Darby's a bit of an homage to this, but I don't know. It's just face paint. He's got the skull thing going, but when does he relinquish a move set or a finisher? Does he allow Darby to take over the Scorpion Death Drop, or is that retired forever? Does it have to be called something else, like the Red Rum? Even though that was taken from his father, he renamed it. So those moves when he retires, does that go somewhere, and who does he pass that along to, if anybody? So I'm curious to see what happens after retirement. What does AEW look like with no Sting? Well, I imagine it looked like Dynamite this week, but I don't know what the entire wrestling landscape without Sting in it is going to be different.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, weird is how the best way to do it, because knowing that he's not involved anymore is just going to be like odd. It's going to be an odd feeling just knowing he's not there. There's really nothing else you could say. It's just because he's done it all. Like, he's wrestled all over the world, Japan. Yes. He's been in the Tokyo Dome. He's wrestled everybody too, other than the one person like really, and man, it just, I'm thankful, but it also sucks.
Well, it's amazing because he's retiring, but right before retiring, he also got to retire the Great Muta, and it's pretty cool that he's not necessarily going out on his back. We don't know what's going to happen yet. I hope not, but he's been, paying it forward to other people and doing favors for people, and it's pretty amazing to witness, and just glad we get to be around to be a part of that. I don't know if Steve Borden starts making the rounds after this. Maybe he and Mark Calloway can do a sit down with each other, and that could be fun. Maybe instead of a match, finally have the face to face could be cool. But I am sad to see that he's leaving the wrestling ring, but I don't think he's going away. I think he's still going to be around it, and I think that'll make it all the more exciting when he randomly shows up in places.
Yeah, give me a Broken Skull session with him.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, Rob, that's what we need.
Yeah.
Can we get
so your WWE? You can just hear. So your WWE run. What happened? Like,
yeah,
that's it. Hands back. Yeah, hands back. Yeah.
Work or shoot?
Yeah.
Are you working? Are you shooting? Like,
my God.
We need it now, Rob. We need it.
Yeah,
guys, this was great. Rob, you were so generous with your time. Thank you so much. I know we've been plugging your social at Rob Wilkins, but tell us, what is the best way to follow you, to show you love, to support you? I know you got you and Maggie are coexisting every week. Tell us about how we can follow you.
You can follow me at Rob Wilkins on Twitter or X. You can follow me on Instagram at Fightful Rob. on Threads at Fightful Rob. Every Friday at 3 o'clock Eastern, I'm on Fightful Overbooked for Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. We go an hour and a half, and we just have a good old time. We talk about everything that went on during that week, and usually me and Maggie try to keep it at least PG-13, but we usually slide into that rated R for a little bit.
Yeah.
A couple of things.
If Wardlow gets brought
it's
up,
Wardlow.
Maggie,
Wardlow's fault,
it depends. Yeah.
Maggie's thirst for Wardlow is something to behold. And it's something else. So, and occasionally her little brother, sorry, my phone's ringing. Sorry about that. I thought I had it on silent, but occasionally Wardlow's older brother, Rob Lowe, will call in. But other than that, yeah, that's where you can follow me. I just have a good old time. And then on Fightful.com, I just do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So you don't really see too much stuff, but I'm doing other things there. So
awesome.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Rob. Thank you all for joining us. Hopefully by now where to find us. We're at GIPod19, gimmickinfringementpod.com. So grateful you tuned in. Remember, this was a 4-part series, so if you missed 1, 2, or 3, check it out, and we hope you'll join us again for the next edition of GI. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.